What's up, Facebook? Ty Crandall with Credit Suite here. And today we're talking about angel investing. We're talking about how to get money even when banks are not involved and everything you need to actually get private investors to invest money into your business. Look, it's crazy time right now as we kind of push into a recession with the COVID-19 crisis. What we find is that a lot of banks have tightened up. Now, of course, the big banks are all busy right now with the SBA PPP loans. And if you need any help with that, go to creditsuite.com/PPP. We've done all kinds of training on Facebook, YouTube about PPP. And if you go to creditsuite.com/PPP, you can get our most recent webinar, our slide deck, everything you need to know about that. But what if you don't want to go to the big banks? If you've been watching the news, even if you're trying to get the PPP loans, they're really hard to get right now. Banks are backlogged. And even if you do get your actual application in, you still have to wait to see if you get approved or get any of the money at all. Okay, so to give you an update of where we are right now at this moment in time with PPP, as of Monday at 9:30, SBA spokesman said that 38 billion of the 349 billion had been accounted for. As of Wednesday morning, it was 98 billion. So as I said about a week ago, I think we're on track with 10 business days for all of the money in this first 349 billion to be accounted for. Now, the great news is today they may open up another 250 billion, but we've all heard about PPP. So much is going on there. What happens if you want to get away with that? What if you're looking for alternative ways to get money instead of waiting for the big banks and SBA to give you money? Well, if we look at the state of business lending right now, we see a lot of disruption from what we've normally seen. Most lending that's taken place in the alternative lending space has taken place based on your revenue, based on your cash flow. So what you're looking at is now, as you may imagine, a lot of people's cash flow has been really disrupted. Okay, and so what this means is it means that it's harder than ever to get the money that you used to be able to get. So for example, you used to be able to get a lot of money from alternative lenders based just on your actual cash flow. But the problem is that you can't do that now because a lot of the cash flow lenders are not lending money based on cash flow for obvious reasons. So the biggest type of money that existed in the previous past in the business space was looking at your past revenue, assuming that your future revenue would stay the same, and lending you money based on your past revenue with the expectation that your future revenue stays the same. Well, we all know how bad of an idea that was now. So there's still a lot of other money that's available today, but one of the best ways you can get money is through angel investing, and that's exactly what we're going to be diving into today. Today, we are going to be talking about angel investing in a recession, how you can get money from private angels that you may or may not know to get yourself through this COVID-19 crisis. So look, recessions mean that you've got these kind of packages going on, and we know this. But with angel investing, they don't rely on the big banks. You don't have to rely on the big banks to get this kind of money. You don't have to rely on alternative lenders. You don't need to rely on the big banks at all. It's why angel investing makes so much sense. Now, if you want to know a little bit more about what angels do, here's simply what they do. Okay, angel investors work with a lot of companies, especially startups, which means less than 3 years old. The economy doesn't matter. As a matter of fact, these guys pour more money into small businesses no matter what the state of the economy is. And what they do is they're typically informal investors that are investing at the start of a business in exchange or swapping for equity ownership in the business. Now, some of them do it individually, and some of it do it through groups, networks, or crowdfunding. We're going to talk about all these kind of options for you. So look, angel investing and venture capital. Let me give you a difference between the two. Venture capitalists usually invest once you've got a proven concept, once you're actually making money, maybe even once you're profitable. Angel investors will invest in the startup phase of a business. Year 1, year 2, year 3, from initial concept. They come in and want less control. They don't want to sit on your board and tell you what to do in a lot of cases. They invest smaller amounts of money, maybe increments of $25,000, $50,000, $100,000. And unlike venture capitalists, they will help you right from the beginning in the inception of your actual business. The great thing about angel investors, you don't typically have to pay them back interest and payments like you do a normal loan. What they're doing is they're taking a percentage of ownership or equity in your business in exchange for the money they give you. So for example, they may come in and say, look, they want 5% ownership in my business in exchange for $250,000. So they're going to give us money in exchange for equity. The nice thing is you don't have to pay interest. You don't have to pay payments. This doesn't have to be paid back like normal loans do. Now, who can be an angel investor? Well, it's not covered by the SEC standard accreditation rules, but a lot of investors are what we call accredited. And what accredited means is it means that they require a $1 million net worth and $200,000 a year in income. If somebody actually wants to get accredited, they have to have $1 million net worth. They have to have $200,000 yearly income. Now, a lot of them are not millionaires. They could be your friends. They could be colleagues. They could be people that you know that you don't even realize are angel investors. Okay, they could just be professionals that are looking for a place to invest. So you want to consider this as well. We're going to talk about affiliated and non-affiliated angels as well. But again, accredited versus non-accredited. You're going to want to know this because when you're dealing with angel investors, you're going to hear this term a lot. So accredited investors are investors that have a $1 million net worth, $200,000 in annual salary, and they also have went through the steps to become accredited, proving those things. Now, unaffiliated angels or unaccredited angels are fine, but you should know the difference between accredited and unaccredited investors. Now, let's talk a little bit about affiliated and unaffiliated angels. So when we talk about affiliated and unaffiliated angels are people you know. Friends, family, coworkers, managers, employers, customers, suppliers, vendors, even competitors. These are people that you know. Unaffiliated, these are people that you don't know. These are other entrepreneurs. These are professional investors, okay? These are managers of other companies looking for a place to invest money, okay? So this is the difference between affiliated and unaffiliated, and here's why you need to know this. It's such a big deal. The majority of angel investing comes from affiliated investors. So what that means is it means the majority of people that get angel investing are getting it from people they actually know. So let me give you an example. I had a buddy of mine that actually just raised $500,000. And when we sat down to talk about how he did it, he got all of the money from people he knew, most of it from the mastermind that we're a part of. So he basically went out, he started raising money, and here's how he did it. He got a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA. You go to his website, there's an NDA electronic version. You sign off on the NDA. Then what happens is you go to the next page. The next page has a video of him talking through his business. Hey, here's how my business works. Here's my revenue. Here's my profits, etc. Now, if you don't know how to do that, then go to our training on how to create a slide deck for angel investing in venture capital. We have it at facebook.com/credit suite in our live stream videos and on our YouTube channel. I'll tell you why that's important. When I created our pitch deck, I used our own training to do it. And what's interesting is that I used our training to create ours, and I looked at his compared to ours, and it's very, very, very similar. So that training will teach you the things to put on a pitch deck that angel investors really care about. As a matter of fact, I may actually give you an overview of that right now. But again, the things that angel investors care about is your overall numbers, the problem you're looking to solve, what your solution is and what makes you unique, what your competitors are actually doing, what you're about, your resume, your experience, what the people in your company are doing. That's a good overview of what they want to see. So when they come in and see our video and our pitch deck, they see, hey, here's who Credit Suite is. Here's what we do as a company. Here's our team. Here's what I do. Here's what our COO, Megan, does. Here's our team members. We're very proud of our team. Here's all the details about our company, how many employees we have, these kind of things. Then we get into our pitch deck, and we get in and we talk a little bit about the problem we solved. The business owners need money. Here's all the statistics that show that. We talk about how we solved the problem. We talk about how many people the reach is. They want to know how many people you could potentially sell to. 30 million business owners in America. That's who exactly we're talking to tell them, hey, here's the reach that we can get to. Then we talk about our products and services. Here's what we sell. Here's how we solve that problem. Then we talk about our numbers. Here's how much each of our revenue streams accounts for. Here's how much we make on financing. Here's how much we make on sales, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? And then we basically get into what our projections are going to be. That's a good overview of what angel investors want to see. So in his case, you came in, you signed a non-disclosure agreement, you went to his video. Instead of a pitch deck, and he gave them the pitch deck they could download as well, he did a video that explained all the things that I just went through. He created the pitch deck, but instead of going through the pitch deck with them, he had a video like this and showed them with graphics all the things he talked about, all those things I just showed you. Then at the end, he had a list of his terms, the money that he wanted in exchange for equity ownership in his business. Now, here's the best part. a lot of angel investing, you don't necessarily need to give up equity in your company. These are called warrants. So the way he did his, for example, and you can do yours, is he came in and had an 8% interest rate payback over 3 years. Whatever money you give us, we're going to pay you back over 3 years at an 8% interest rate. Now, you can convert that. So if you want to convert it to equity, you can convert it to equity. So those have an option to convert that into equity. You can look up some of these things if they don't make sense to you right now. So that's exactly the funnel he built. Then he went out to the people in our mastermind that are potentially interested in investing. He sent them a link. They signed the NDA. They saw his video. They saw his terms, and they invested $500,000 from people he already knew that was in our mutual network from our mastermind. So that's what affiliated angels are. There's all kinds of people that you already know now that could very well want to invest money into your business. Maybe they're family members. Maybe they're friends. Maybe they're people you work with. Maybe they're people that show an interest in what you do. But look, the reality is the stock market sucks right now, right? Real estate's going to take a big hit as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm hearing from the experts that it will. So a lot of the places that people are putting their money, they're not getting good returns right now. But in a lot of cases, you can invest in a lot of small business owners. They're going to take advantage of what's going on right now, create new solutions, products, etc. And a lot of angel investors want to invest into those companies, okay? So that being said, and Willie, you said you guys are the best. Thank you. Thank you for that, and thanks for the likes and loves. So the reality is a lot of people want to privately invest into businesses right now instead of the stock market, instead of the actual real estate. So that's what angel investors are. So you want to talk to the people in your network, the masterminds you're part of, the Facebook groups that you're part of, your social media channels. You want to put out there, look, I'm looking to give somebody a huge return that comes in as an affiliated angel investor into my business. Do you know anybody that may be interested in getting huge returns by investing in a privately owned company that's crushing it or going to crush it? And see what people say. A lot of people in your network can introduce you to these affiliated angels that you can actually get money from. Now, there's a whole other world here of unaffiliated angels, and we're going to talk about them as well. We're going to talk about where you can go to actually get money from people that you don't know, but you need to know that most of this money is coming from affiliated angels, people that are already in your network that you know now. Now, of course, there is a risk for angels. They could lose 100% of their investment by actually investing into your company, okay? But again, this is why they intend to invest less in venture capital, because they have less success proven, meaning they're investing in the beginning before a lot of things are actually established. But they want to know what your defined exit strategy is, what you plan on doing. Look, a lot of angel investors, a lot of venture capitalists want to get their money back in about 3 years. So when you're pitching to angels, you need to say, look, here's all the things I just told you about, right? Here's how our company works. Here's the problem we solve. Here's the solution. Here's our numbers. Here's what our plan is. Our plan is to sell in 3 years. Our plan is to be acquired in 3 years. Our plan is to go public in 3 years. And here's how we intend on doing it. They want to know that they can exit in 2 to 3 years and get their money. Now, exit does not mean that you need to actually sell the business. You could sell it to somebody. You could get it acquired. You could get it to go public. You could even get venture capitalists to come in and give part of the money back that can go back to these actual angel investors. Let me give you a secret that most people don't know. Shh. A lot of venture capitalists are referred by angel investors. That's how it actually really works. What happens is angel investors get started into startups, right? And then the startup takes off and it starts doing well. And the startup needs more money. And now they need venture capital because now their model is proven. Now they're generating revenues. Now it's successful. And so what happens is those angel investors that helped them in the beginning are the ones that introduce the venture capitalists that give them more money. Doesn't that make sense? If you are a venture capitalist looking to give money to businesses that are established and doing well before a bunch of other venture capitalists come in, where would you get the leads from? Angel investors. Go to the angel investors that put the money in the beginning and tell them, hey, look, when you get these startups that actually take off and become successful, call me. I'll put more money in. I'll help you get part of the money you put in back, and then we'll fund this thing and get even higher rates of returns. So a lot of venture capitalists and angel investors are like this because venture capitalists are getting their leads from angel investors. So this is where, if you want to get venture capitalists, you get in on the angel investment ground floor, and they will introduce you oftentimes to venture capitalists because they care about one thing. how they're going to exit, how you're going to get out of this. So remember, even though there's risk, they're looking for a return as well. And in a lot of cases, their success means they're getting about a 20 to 30% return on what they're doing. So they're getting a way higher rate return than banks. But again, they're also taking on a lot more risk as well. So how can a company get angel investing? Well, first of all, you got to ask the people in your network. You need to go to the people in your network because, as I mentioned, most angel investors are affiliated to you. They're your friends. They're the family. They're people in your network. They're people you work with. They're people around you that, whether you know it or not, they want to make investments and get a rate of return on their money, but they just don't know how to do it. So let me give you an example. One of my friends owns a phenomenal company. Okay, Equity Help. And what these guys do is they look for people that want to lend money or want to have money and get a rate of return. They take the money, they go to buy distressed properties, they fix them up, and then they let people with low income get in these properties. It's fantastic. It's like helping low income individuals find housing and also helping people get an 8 to 10% return on their money. He is flooded. Let me tell you how busy he is. He's in the top 100 of the Inc. 5,000 this year. One of the 100 fastest growing companies in the country because he's found out that people that have money want to get a rate of return by investing into other things like this. It's the same thing. There's so many people out there that have money that don't want to invest in the stock market, that don't want to invest into real estate. They're affiliated. You know them already, whether you know it or not. You just need to ask. So the first thing to step with finding the right angel investors is put your feelers out. Go to your own social pages. Go to your company's social pages. Email blast your audience. Put out to everybody that you're interested in getting funding, that you're willing to even give an equity stake in the business. And if you want to make a great return on a great investment, then let's talk. Okay, that gets you in the door. Don't forget, I already talked to you about creating a pitch deck. I already gave you a hint about a mini funnel you can create with a non-disclosure agreement, a video of you going through your pitch deck, and then the actual terms that your attorney will help you draw up, but I've even given you an idea of how to structure those terms. So then you just push them to that page. Hey, sign the NDA, look at my video about everything about how great of an investment is, and then here's the terms right after. If you want it, then there's the terms. And this is a great way to get the message to people that you're affiliated with to get money. So affiliated angels. Now, there are also a lot of unaffiliated angels, and you can go through cold calls, you could go through brokers, you could do a lot of that, but there's a lot of places online you can find them as well. So Gust is one of the best places you can go to actually find angel investors. It's called Gust. Now, another one from Entrepreneur is called ace.net. And you got to do a little bit of work with Google to get ace.net to actually produce itself. So if you go to ace.net, this is a great place to find angel investors. You can also try Gust. That's another great place to be able to find angel investors. Now, there's two other sites that I like quite a bit as well that are really good for finding angel investors, and I'll show them both to you. One of them right here is called equitynet.com. So equitynet.com is another great place where you can actually come in and find entrepreneurs that are looking to invest in monies. And you can see here that these are the entrepreneurs that are looking to get funds right now. This is a network of angel investors. Now, another one I like quite a bit is angelinvestmentnetwork.us. And on angelinvestmentnetwork.us, they also have all different kinds of businesses looking for all different kinds of cash, and they tie together angels with companies to actually invest in. So I've given you about 4 different places to get individual angels or angel investment networks that can actually help you get the money that you need. Now, that being said, don't forget angel investor networks, angel investor groups, as well as actual angel investors. And here's the difference. If you're an angel investor, then you're investing money into a company. A network pools together multiple investors to get you the money. So let me give you an example. I can give you $25,000 in angel investment, or I can pull together 5 of my closest friends. Together, we give 5 apiece, and we give you $25,000 that way. That's the difference between an angel investor and an angel investor network. An angel investor is one person that's going to give you the money. An angel investor network pulls together the money from multiple angel investors to get you the money through multiple different investors. You don't care how it is. You just care that you're going to get actually somebody that invests in your business without giving away the farm. Now, let's also not forget about the other kind of financing that's out there right now. Remember, you can still get no-doc credit lines to $150,000 if you have a 680 FICO score or a guarantor that does. These also help you build business credit. You can also use stocks, bonds, 401ks, IRAs. You can use account receivables. You can use inventory equipment. As in e-commerce, you can get the money you need to buy the inventory to sell on Amazon. You can get the financing for that. You can get all kinds of other financing beyond SBA PPP loans, beyond SBA EIDL and injury disaster loans, beyond the grants that are coming from SBA right now, as well as a lot of other financing options as well. So if you want other ways to get money outside of angel investing, give us a ring, 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487. And our team on this call will help do a fundability check to see how fundable your business is. Again, angel investors are going to care about a lot of that stuff as well. We're going to do a free check with the reporting agencies to see if you're set up with the business credit reporting agencies now. Then we're going to come in and help you get a free copy of your business credit report, and we'll talk to you about all the money you can qualify for now. If you're interested in doing that, then just give us a ring. We will talk to you about all the cash you can get now through business credit, through credit lines up to $150,000 that are meant for startups, through other kind of financing like 401k, IRAs, stocks, bonds, ACE, SBA, PPP loans. We can help you with any of that as well. But don't forget about angel investing. It's a great way to get money for your business, and you don't have to pay it back like a loan. So to help you get the money without the payments that are very good to help, especially startups. Now, Renee says, is there any available funds for startups companies? Yes, there is. The best program that we use for startups is called our Credit Line Hybrid Program. You can get up to $150,000 in credit lines. As a startup, no doc, no revenue check, no bank statements are needed. You don't need to supply any tax returns either. Even a startup can get approved. You need a 680 FICO, or a guarantor needs a 680 FICO. If you have a family, friend, anybody that actually can sign as a guarantor, that can work. Or you have a 680 and you can get credit lines up to 150 grand. You can also get business credit as a startup, and I'll pull this up because if this makes sense, you can get it all by giving us a ring right here. So you can also get high limit revolving accounts with most major retailers, Visa, MasterCard, as well as auto financing and a lot of other funding that may be based on assets or collateral you have. Real estate and a home, 401k, stocks, bonds, IRAs, account receivables, purchase orders, inventory, equipment. If you want to get the inventory to sell in places like Amazon, you can get funding for all of that stuff, even as a startup. So if you want that kind of money, if you want the SBA PPP loans, if you want to get any of this other funding that's available right now, just give us a ring. We'll talk to you more about this. And hello, Twyla. Thanks for coming in. So to wrap up, angel investing, great way to go. A lot of private investors right now want to invest money into privately owned businesses through angel investing. First, try going to your entire network. The majority of angel investing that takes place is through affiliated angels. Let me give you another secret. Unaffiliated angels like to see that you got money from affiliated angels, because if you got money from the people in your circle, then it makes people outside of your circle more comfortable that people within your circle trust you enough to invest. So try your network for affiliated angels. Besides that, you also want to go out and look at some places like ace.net. You want to look at places like Gust. You also want to look at places like angelinvestmentnetwork.us, which I showed you. And you also want to look at places like equity.equitynet.com. And this is the best place to find angel investors and angel investing networks that can help you. Don't forget, you're going to need a pitch deck as well. I went through all the things you're going to want to put on that pitch deck, but make sure you check out our training on pitch decks here on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So for more questions, for more information on getting money for your business, just simply give us a ring at 877-600-2487, and we can talk to you about all the money and business credit you can qualify for now. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.